What's up, you guys? My name is Rachel, and in this video I'm going to show you how I did this full face of makeup in only 10 minutes. If you're really short on time or patience, then I think you'll really enjoy this. It's really quick, really simple, and you don't need a ton of different products to do this. It's also good for any skill level. So even if you're not good at, contouring, baking, the whole nine, you're going to nail this anyway. All right, before we get started, go ahead and make sure you are subscribed and that you ring the bell so you're notified when I post new videos. I am doing a different kind of setup today where I film the makeup and then I'm gonna do a voiceover talking you through it so I don't waste any time. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think of this different format. All right, I know everyone is short on time, so let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, I'm working off a glass palette per usual, and I'm using my Infallible 24-hour Fresh Wear foundation, just pumping a little bit out onto the palette. And then I'm gonna take a foundation brush from Real Techniques and dot some all over my face, then start blending it out. One thing that will help you guys save some time whenever you're doing makeup is making sure that you have a really good foundation match and that it matches your neck and chest really well so that when you blend it down, you don't have to spend a ton of time blending it to make it look decent. You're gonna already have a really good match, so you just swipe it all over the face. I probably spent a little bit too much time working on this and blending it out, but I'm kind of a perfectionist when it comes to that, so forgive me. You do not have to dwell on this that long. And if you're using something like a tinted moisturizer or like a BB cream or cushion foundation, then this step will probably take you even less time. Okay, looks good. Now we're moving on to concealer. I'm using Tarte Shape Tape. Just doing that underneath my eyes. This doesn't have to be perfect, so just kind of slap some on there and then we're gonna blend it out. To blend out my concealer, I'm gonna be using a Stands Out Beauty Sponge. This is a memory foam sponge and I absolutely love this. You should definitely check this out. I'll link it down below. This saves me a ton of time, so if I'm in a hurry, I always reach for this. It has a really big surface, so you can get a lot done in a short amount of time. I'm just blending out underneath the eyes and then onto the lid. I'm gonna use the same Stands Out sponge to pick up some Beauty Bakery setting powder. I'm gonna set underneath the eyes with this powder, and then I'm also going to set all over the face with it. The one that I'm using is called Oat, and it's the translucent shade. If you wanna bake with it, you can. It's also good for just a light layer of setting too. Going down the neck, making sure everything is set. This is really important so that when you lay down bronzer and blush, everything goes on really evenly and there aren't any patches where it sticks or pulls. Okay, now we're gonna go in with some bronzer. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer and that half fan brush from Real Techniques that I talked about in my last video. Just picking some up and dusting it off. That way you don't have too much color on the brush. What I'm doing is just warming up the edges of my face. So I'm gonna go on the sides of the forehead and around the hairline, and then down the cheekbones, also under the chin and down the neck and onto my chest. So just trying to warm up the face a little bit and create some definition. We're not doing any contouring, but this is gonna work kind of like a contour, just a really light version, something that's really wearable and easy to do on a daily basis. So you guys who tell me, I don't know how to contour, this is for you. You don't have to know how to contour. You just need to know where to place the color, and you can still get something that's really sculpted and that you're happy with without spending a ton of time on that step. Something I love about that bronzer is that it gives your skin a little bit of a glow. No sparkly or anything like that, but it still just gives you a little bit of a healthy sheen to your skin so things don't look so flat. Now I'm just sweeping some bronzer on the tip and sides of my nose just to kind of marry it with the rest of my face. Now we're gonna go in with some blush. I'm using some Kylie blush in the shade Pink Power in my Real Techniques Brush Crush Blush Brush. My goodness, I'm surprised I even could say that. And that was my first try. Depends on your face shape as to where you apply the blush. I have kind of big apples on my cheeks, so I like to put the blush really in the center of my apple. But if you're trying to elongate your cheekbone and really carve it out, you can go up higher under the cheekbone with it. By the way, sorry I look like a straight up poodle in this entire video. I really wish someone would have been here to tell me how horrible my hair looked.
Buzz your girlfriend. Woof.
Now we're gonna start on eyebrows. For everything that I'm doing on my eyes, I'm using this Morphe palette. It's got a ton of different brown shades. So I picked one that's pretty taupe, like close to my eyebrow color. And then I'm just filling in my brows with the powder. And I'm using a slanted brush from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This I usually use for brow pomade, but it also works great for powder. Like I said, it's just a little slanted, stiff brush, and you can kind of carve out some brow with that. Just filling in the places where they're a little bit more sparse. When you're doing quick makeup, you don't have to do that crazy brow on fleek thing. You can just fill it in a little bit, make sure you can see the brow and that it's there and that they're even. I don't like to sit there spending a ton of time on making my brows look like I'm ready for a feature on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Instagram page. Like I said, make sure they're there, they're even, they're filled in a bit, and then move on with life. Now we're gonna go in with some eyeshadow. I'm starting with kind of a light taupey brown shade. And to apply that, I'm using just a long tapered brush that's really fluffy. And then just going all in the crease with that color, laying down a good base. We're just using 2 eyeshadow colors. I'm gonna use this one and then go a shade darker to define the crease a little bit further. So just, again, back and forth, windshield wiper motions in the crease. Make sure that corner edge is blended, and that's all you really need to do. Since you powder the lids whenever you're setting all over the face, it has a good base to lay down on already. Okay, we're going one shade darker and using a shorter, more dense brush to apply the shadow in the crease. Kind of swipe the color back and forth, just get it where you need it to be, and then you can blend out. Same thing on the other eye. Guys, this is super, super simple, but it looks like you spent a lot of time on it, and that's really my goal, is to make it look complex, and layered, but without spending a ton of time, not using a lot of products. We're using a few face products and then going in with one palette to do eyeshadow, eyeliner, and eyebrows. Okay, now so I'm going to take that same crease color and go into the lower lash line with that same brush I was just using. And just blend it all on the lower lash line all the way to the inner corner. And then meet up with the outer corner as well. Same thing on the other eye. Really, with this look, you could always add a little bit more shadow to this, like smoke it out a little bit on the lid and make it a little more glamorous. And you could still wear this look out. It's perfectly fine as is. Now I'm going to do some eyeliner. I'm using an angled brush and spraying that down and going into one of these warm brown shades. That almost looks like maroon on camera. And then just lining the top lash line with that, just to make the lash line stand out a little bit and pop. I'm using the same palette for eyeshadow, for eyeliner, and for eyebrows. That is why I absolutely love that palette and the color selection. You could match any person's brows with that palette, and you can also do eyeshadow that's neutral on anyone. So that's why I really like it and suggest that color selection specifically. Now I'm doing eyeliner on the other eye. Okay, now we're moving on to lips. I'm using a gel liner by Wet n Wild. That's a shade Dare to Comet. And just lining the outside of my lips with that. And then I'm using a gloss from ColourPop. That's a shade Irreplaceable in the Ultra Glossy Lip. Just all over the lips, taking it to the border of my lip so it looks a little bit fuller. Okay, now we're doing mascara. This is Essence. It's the Volume Stylist 18-Hour Lash Extension Mascara. I've talked about this in probably 3 videos now of the 5 that I'm gonna have out, and I absolutely love it. Especially if you're short on time, you can slap this on and you will have amazing lashes right away. I cannot say enough good things about this mascara. I've kind of ditched everything else for that. By the way, I realize some of this is a little bit mundane and boring, like watching me put on mascara, but I wanted you guys to see exactly how long it was taking me. Okay, looking good, and that's it. It took me literally 10 minutes to do this, and it looks like I spent, 20, 25 on it in my opinion. All right, guys, that's it for our 10-minute full face. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have questions, definitely leave them in the comments for me. Also, let me know what you think of the format of this video. All right, again, if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do that and ring the bell. Another thing, I've been hearing a lot of folks say, well, I don't have a YouTube account, so I can't log in or like the video. Your YouTube account is your Google account. So if you have a Gmail, you can use that to sign in, and that way you can subscribe, comment, like, all of those different things. Been meaning to tell you guys this, and it just has slipped my mind. Go figure. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.